did you ask the federal court to extend pregnancy protections to people, to transgender women?
Senator, not from my recollection.
No, so I'm asking. I was wanting to understand the status of your submission.
No, in the submissions we talked about the meaning of pregnancy and potential pregnancy and how that may apply to
can I ask,
gender
how do you see that applying in the Act currently to trans women?
Trans women, if someone is who applies for a job, for example,
yes,
and it is a trans woman and she may be asked whether or not she intends to have children, and if she replies, yes, I do, and then doesn't get the job because that employer doesn't want to employ women who may be of childbearing age, then she may have been subjected to unlawful discrimination on the basis of potential pregnancy.
I'm very confused.
So am I.
A biological male can't become pregnant.
But the grounds of pregnancy includes potential pregnancy as well as pregnancy.
What
But if
the
they can't
hell?
become pregnant, how can you then become potentially pregnant?
It's about the unlawful treatment by the employer. If someone is treated unfairly on the basis of pregnancy or potential pregnancy, then that is unlawful discrimination on the basis of pregnancy.
So if a bloke came in and they said, are you going to have children? Which is the same question really, and he said, oh, yeah, maybe. Are you saying that he could also claim that ground?
If he didn't receive the job because...
But they can't get pregnant.
No, not a man who is seeking a position, then it's not going to apply to.
Okay, so I'm gonna pause here, and I want to say hi to Gardening. Thank you for being in the chat. Anyone else out there who's watching, please let us know you're here. Thanks for watching. The insanity continues. It's crazy that we're watching this. And you know what? I'm gonna start this sentence with a phrase that I always hate hearing the left use: as a black person, or as a person of color, or as a black man. I think that there's a problem with a few white people out there who literally believe that men can get pregnant. And you can see how she's bending over backwards to try to prove the fact that men can get pregnant. Look, it's a very simple test, all right? Get the man who claims he can get pregnant and then let them have at it. Give them a year to get pregnant. Give them 2 years to get pregnant. If at the end of 2 years, they can't get pregnant, okay, I mean, it's scientific evidence, but as far as she's concerned, what she claims is there has to be a potential that they could get pregnant. These people are crazy.
To a man.
Well, they're both biological men. It makes no sense. A biological man, you stated a biological man can't get pregnant. Am I correct? Because if I'm not, I've got to go back to school. I seriously do, because I missed that lesson in biology.
How are we having this conversation in the first place? How and why are we having this conversation in the first place? That's what I can't deal with for the life of me. Why are we having this conversation in the... Jeez.
I went to a convent school. The nuns may not have told me about it. But you said a biological man can't get pregnant.
That's correct, Senator. But someone who is a trans woman may be assumed to be pregnant or to be able to be pregnant.
So what stops a man putting on a dress, walking in and claiming the protection?
Oh,
he's now a woman. You've admitted that.
That would be up to a court to decide whether or not it was discrimination on the basis.
So it's the and with all due respect, yep, it is the absurdity of the law yet again, which shows, again, the law does need to be changed, because for the record, biological men, doesn't matter what way you cut it, you cannot get pregnant. And quite frankly, it is an insult to women who actually are discriminated on because they want to have children when they biologically can get pregnant. But the good news is, what we're proving today is the law needs to be changed.
So guys, I don't know what we're doing here. I don't know what you're doing here, but that was the Australian Parliament having the same conversations that we've seen play out in Congress. And I'll be honest with you, it's either the people who are pushing these ideologies are just plain insane. How can you sit with a straight face and make these arguments that this woman was making? And hopefully I'm not misgendering her, because people just don't want to stay within the realms of sanity anymore. They want to be Caesar. Okay, I'm going to be offending people. It's not 6 minutes yet, and I'm screaming already into the microphone. All right, so The View hosted one of the seditious six, and they took the opportunity to stand on their soapbox to essentially say all the things that they usually say. Sonny Hostin just said, when the other side goes low, Democrats should go straight to the earth's crust. That essentially means when Republicans or conservatives go low, go lower. Okay, be worse than them. Do the worst. Now, let me know in the chat, have you ever heard any conservative show or influencer or platform say these kinds of crazy things? And these jokers claim that conservatives are the violent ones. Let's have a listen to this insanity.
And how about meeting the energy that the Republican Party has? Because, you know, when they go high, they go low, we should go high. It seems to me when they go low, we should go to the earth's crust. I think I think a lot of Democrats are they don't feel great about the sort of energy that they're seeing from the Democratic Party, because it seems like the Democratic Party is playing by a rule book that no longer
exists. Well, the other party is shameless, first of all.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'll say two things about that.
Alyssa calls it a race to the bottom.
Yeah. I understand that, but listen, like democracies die when the regime that's trying to convert a country to totalitarianism breaks the rules, and the opposition follows those broken rules.
Sorry, did I miss the part where for essentially for 4 years under Joe Biden, they changed all the rules? Under Barack Obama, it became okay for a random gay couple to walk into a Christian bakery. Everyone in town knew that this bakery was owned by Christians who believed in obeying the teachings of Scripture. They intentionally walk into the bakery and decide that they are going to make a stink, sue the bakery out of business, and set a precedent for anyone who wants to attack a conservative to simply use to attack them based on the fundamentals of Christian beliefs. Okay? A man is a man, a woman is a woman. If you say that, if you said that during the Biden years, your show got canceled, your YouTube channel got taken away from you, it was normal. That was what they did. And they're claiming that that is the Republicans who changed the rules. Was it the Republicans who changed the rules that men are men and women are women? Boys aren't allowed in girls' bathrooms. It was the Democrats who did that. We just got through 4 minutes of insanity hearing someone, a leftist, trying to claim that men can get pregnant. Democrats did that during the Biden years. Does anybody remember the pregnant, the emoji on the iPhones of the pregnant man that went live? I think it was 2022 or 2023. It was insane. These people are just crazy, okay? And they have the gall to sit in front of a camera and accuse conservatives or Republicans of doing everything that they themselves did.
Right? So you have to, if you want to confront this threat, the opposition, the Democratic Party, has to break some norms as well. And I get that that makes people uncomfortable. Here's the other thing. He tells a story, right, about who's screwing you. And it's a false story, right?
Right.
He talks about
Yes.
immigrants and Muslims and gay kids.
Right.
But there is a story, a true story about who is screwing the American people,
Yeah.
right? And it's these technology companies that don't care about your kids, right? It's these massive corporate.
I'm sorry. Is the technology companies that overwhelmingly donate to the Democrat Party? Overwhelmingly, over 80% of their donations go to Democrats. What are you talking about? And he's saying it in a way that tries to frame it as Trump is rich, Elon is rich, technology companies are rich. Technology companies have been screwing the American people. Therefore, Trump and Elon Musk have been screwing the American people. That is the line he's trying to draw. Now, before we continue with this video, I hope you guys don't mind. I want to read the chat because my people are talking. Okay, Intergalactic Wrangler is in the chat. Gardening says, "Everyone, please let us know where you're. Let us know you're here by hitting that like button." And Gardening also says, okay, Intergalactic Wrangler says, kindergarten cop with Arnold Schwarzenegger. That little boy said it right. Boys have a penis and girls have a vagina. Look, a child can tell you that. My 3-year-old can tell you that. But these clowns want every one of us to believe that science doesn't exist anymore, that basic biological reality was essentially erased simply because they said so. These people are crazy, and we're going to keep calling them crazy until they start behaving like everyone else has been behaving for the last couple of 1,000 years. Because nobody in their wildest dreams would have believed that we'll be having these kinds of conversations. Okay, I'm starting really revved up today. I don't know why, but I don't know. I just hate lies. Okay, guys, I just hate lies. Intergalactic Wrangler says, "My stupid back hurts." So sorry about your back. Okay, hope you don't mind. I'll be praying for you. Okay, I'll be praying for your back. Intergalactic Wrangler, that stinks. Gardening is saying, Gardening says, "I can't keep up with all their foolishness." Yeah, you guys were talking, and look, I want in on the conversation. Okay, so guys, if you're joining us, we're continuing with the insanity of the view.
Corporations like Walmart that are emptying out good jobs from our communities, replacing them with part-time
How
work.
about the Supreme Court?
So let's tell a story.
Sorry, look, I can keep pausing this. Okay, so tell me in the chat, okay, if someone lies and continues to spread lies and wants you to continue to tolerate their lies, what do you call that person? Pop quiz. What do you call that person? Okay, they are liars. This guy is a liar. Look, guys, this job is testing my Christian temperance. It's testing me because I have, only till I began to cover these kinds of stories did I begin to call people evil, because I have not seen such evil in all my life. You know, in Africa, we've seen people murder relatives because they're jealous of them. That's evil. I've seen people essentially telling the truth, murder someone for telling the truth. I call that person my sister. It's a galactic rider. I'm putting this on the screen. Okay, look, I've seen in Africa, we see evil. Hope my audio is still on. Okay, in Africa, we see evil routinely. Okay, there's child sacrifice, there's all kinds of stuff happening. But I haven't seen the degree of evil where, you know, at least in Africa, they have the courtesy of doing it in the dark. All right, they hide in dark corners and do all the evil stuff. Okay, everyone knows it's happening, but at least they have the courtesy of hiding while they do it. These people stand in front of millions of Americans and tell these insane lies. They have Senate hearings where they performatively lie and expect you to tolerate the lies and believe them and spread the same lies. And if you don't spread the lies, you're bigoted, you're hateful, you're a problem, you're a danger to democracy. I've never seen anything like this before in my entire life. I have never seen anything like this before. Let's keep going.
Tell a true story about why you're getting screwed and who's doing the screwing. And that's, I think, part of what this book talks about is that real story of who's to blame for the spiritual unspooling that's happened in this country. And that if we're going to fix what's wrong in the country, it's not.
You wouldn't know spiritual if it sat on your face. Okay? You wouldn't know what... I don't know why I'm so upset with. Maybe it's just the opening video. Who knows? I'm just so upset with these guys today.
Just good enough to beat Donald Trump. You also have to take on all these other forces that have left us feeling really exhausted and lonely.
Well, we need you guys to make sure that those folks can't get in. Yeah. That's what we need from you. There's not enough time. Not enough time. So our thanks to Chris.
Okay, so he's selling his book. And he's doing a good job of selling his book because he goes to the show where people believe anything. Gardening says, nope, just ratings. Yes, it's just ratings. Okay, let's see. Should I play this one? Okay, let's play this palate cleanser. This is a palate cleanser. It's a palate cleanser, but there's more insanity coming down the road, folks. There's more. But wait, there's more, but let's play this palate cleanser.
Perhaps he will listen to Sal Grover, who kindly provided some of her own words for me to share. In a free society, people can believe whatever they want.
Yep.
If you want to believe men can be women, or you're a man who wants to call himself a woman, that is your business. What you cannot do in a free society is force anyone else to accept it. What is at stake here is the ability to lawfully acknowledge reality. If you care so much about trans rights, you can work out a way to get them without destroying the category of women in law, female spaces, sports services, the entire reality of lesbianism, and punishing citizens for acknowledging reality. The fact that you haven't even tried makes it appear that destroying the rights of women is the goal.
Yep.
Any politician who...
Destroying the rights of common sense conservative people who will push back on your insanity is the goal. We're going to watch communism. You're going to see Communism 101 in the next couple of videos that we're going to play. In the next few videos. This is communism. While I was looking through my feed, because I looked through my feed to kind of say, okay, what are we going to talk about today? What are we going to look at today? And I saw all this craziness happening. I said, okay, why is it that this is going on? And it just turns out that it's a playbook that communists have always used. They sow chaos into the society. The Democrats and leftists of the modern age have gone the extra step of sowing chaos into common sense. In the 20s and 30s, the chaos was usually economic and law and order. They would release prisoners to essentially go into the population and cause chaos. They would write articles in newspaper. They would have propaganda that challenged the confidence of the population in the present leadership. They did it in Russia, they did it in China, they did it in Iran. And in Cuba. It's Communism 101. But these days, they've taken it to the next level where they challenge biological reality. You can literally get sued and bankrupted simply because you acknowledge biological reality. It is an attack on free speech because I am allowed to say I don't want to call you by the pronoun you are trying to impose on me. I don't think it's right. My faith doesn't agree with that. And then that person has the right to take me to court and bankrupt me and shut down my business. Right. So that is what they're trying to do. They've gone further than the communists of the 19th century, 20th century did.
Look an Australian in the eye and tell them that a man can be a woman is admitting that they will lie about anything and everything, because the most obvious lie has already been told. If no one in this room can acknowledge reality and fix an obvious problem, you're either malicious or incompetent. The days of dismissing this issue are over. This is not a culture war, it's reality. With that, Deputy Speaker, I commend the bill to the House.
Okay, now that's, again, that is Australia. So, something is happening in Australia, and I think the people there have been emboldened by President Trump. Now, before we slip into the next story that we're covering, I'll read the chat. Gardening says, as long as there are Democrats or liberals, etc., there will be crazies. That is true. Gardening says, I do feel for our girls who have to have boys in their spaces. It is already an awkward time in life anyway. Save girls sports. And then, save girls sports and spaces. Gardening says, look, let me know your thoughts in the chat. Okay. Like I'm diving into the deep end today, and here's more insanity coming from the protesters who decided that they're so desperate to bring back the summer of love. Remember what I said 3 weeks ago? I said basically that 1st of May was the launch of protest summer. Okay, it's summer, it's time to protest. And so they just jumped out and resume their protesting. They don't protest in the snow. Have you noticed? They don't protest. It's not that serious. They're on holiday. Watch this. Something is happening with my feed. Something happening with my video, but I think we'll be fine. All right, so let's keep going.
This is McAdam. She's live right now outside Delaney Hall in Newark, New Jersey, where those protesters there, Lexus, have been facing off with some of the ICE agents. What's happening?
That's right. Well, it has been going on for a few days, and then it happened again this morning, and it's happening again throughout the afternoon. So we're just going to move in on a little bit and show you what's going on out here. You can see that they've got the protesters that are sitting here, and I thought it was important to point out a lot of them actually had their faces kind of covered, but the big deal here, right, in New Jersey is that these people don't think ICE agents should be able to cover their faces. So that's one thing, but they're facing off with these ICE officers.
These people are hypocrites. So they are allowed to cover their faces, but law enforcement are not allowed to cover their faces. Law enforcement that routinely has to deal with cartel members, gangsters, people who are essentially dangerous. They have 10 million of them broke into the country during the Biden years. These are strange times, and the ICE officers feel like, look, to protect our identity and our families, we need to cover our faces. And then the protesters who don't have any official role. No one can identify them. If anything goes sideways, they can cover their faces. The governors and the politicians protect them, but want to expose the ICE officers. Why? They want to send a chill in the ranks of ICE and the DHS, so that people are afraid to do their jobs.
Officers who are trying to do their job, Sandra, because they believe that this detention facility here, Delaney Hall in Newark, New Jersey, should be shut down. They say it's because the migrants inside of the facility are not being treated right. So that's why they're out here. That's why they're positioned here with their goggles on, ready to be tear gassed or pepper sprayed, they say, if possible. So pointing it out, obviously we covered what happened on the ground in Minneapolis. We covered that in Minnesota. We covered a little bit of what happened in Broadview, Illinois, outside of Chicago. It's a more similar setup to what happened here. So they have not as big a crowds, but the people do come prepared. And one of the other things, Sandra, that was important to point out on video that we saw yesterday on social media was they kind of stop all these cars that are coming and going. And the protesters are trying to act as security in those videos, asking them who's in the car. And then they decide if they're going to.
I saw that video. I couldn't cue that video up for tonight's live stream, but it is crazy that these protesters have, I would say, have become so intimidating at this location that the ICE officers have to allow them carry out the insane step of checking who's in the car. They're essentially telling the ICE officers, you guys aren't the authority here. We are. If we don't let you guys pass, you guys will not pass. I think it's a huge mistake, but I think it has a lot to do with the state where this is happening in.
Going to let you through or not? And then here you can see some media, but they are blocking the roadway, and this backs up a huge road.
Oh, I have that video queued, gardening. I have that one queued. Okay, hang on. Let me read the chat. Okay, guys, I love you guys. You guys are giving me some encouragement here. Let's see. Intergalactic Wrangler says, let ICE. They need to let ICE do their job. Lock them up if they impede. Look, the post here from Homeland Security says these rioters have obstructed law enforcement operations, a felony and a crime. Local police have refused to answer calls to help our law enforcement. They will not allow violent rioters to we will not allow violent rioters to slow ICE down. Law and order will be restored. Good. Let's see. Look, I want to see the National Guard. No, that's me. Okay, that's me. I want to see the National Guard invade this area. I mean, just show up unannounced, surround the area, and arrest every single one of them. For me, it would be glorious to watch that happen. It will be justice, because none of this insanity happened under Obama. None. And it's the same people who worked under Obama that are operating the teams right now. What changed? Democrats decided that Trump was evil and bad, and they needed to destroy the country by letting in millions of people and then tying Trump's hands and the hands of DHS and ICE to keep them from kicking out these people who broke into the country. I'm incensed. Like, it's... Oh, okay. Let's see. They had to back off. They need to go all in. That's true. Gardening agrees. I hope you show. Okay, yeah. I'm going to show the video of the two men. Just patience, guys.
That's right off the highway, so it really could cause a lot of problems here, so we'll keep an eye on it. But the governor of New Jersey was out here celebrating Memorial Day by demanding that the migrant criminals inside be released because she says they're on a hunger strike, so we'll keep an eye on it, Sandra.
Okay, so I would say that the Democrat Party has lost the plot. If there are common sense people out there who are voting, you guys need to essentially send a very strong signal to Democrats everywhere and rhinos everywhere, okay, that this insanity has to stop. I would like to relax and talk about my thoughts on what's going on, because we're gonna hit some really, really hard stories in a bit. Now, this is the video that Gardening was talking about. Okay, this is hilarious. Two brown guys just walked out of ICE Newark facility, and leftist idiots started cheering. They didn't realize that these were ICE officers who worked there. Okay, they work there, dumbasses. Okay, that's the post. Now, it's crazy to watch, okay, because these people are just racist, okay? These protesters accuse ICE, DHS, Trump, and his administration of being racist, but they do racist things all the time, like seeing two brown people walking out of ICE facility and cheering, like, yeah, you guys are free, not knowing that these are actually guys who work there.
We're opening! They work here.
It says they work.
That's racist. They just assume. Yeah. They just assume that they got racist. We're opening.
Like it's so good. I'm gonna play it twice. It says they work here, dumbass.
That's racist.
Jeez.
Damn, they just assumed that they got racist.
This is crazy. Anyway, I love this. Okay, let's see. I don't want the chat to get away from me. Look, if you're watching and you're just hanging out and watching the three of us talk, you guys can get in on the action, okay? And I don't. If you don't want your chat to show up on the screen, don't worry, it won't. I only show intergalactic chats when they actually are hilarious, and that one is still up there. Or super chats, so you guys can have all the fun in the chat. I won't expose you if you just want to, go in there and join in the fun. All right, let's see. Gardening says, we need to see some action, because if they allow all these crazies all over to see no consequences, they're going to all do it everywhere once again. And that's the problem I have. I'm seeing that there's a softening of the consequences for these things, but I don't know. I guess the Trump administration is repositioning or re-strategizing, but let's see what happens. Gardening says, which brings on the mostly peaceful, fiery protests, which is what they want. Look, the Democrats want this so bad, but they can't replicate that George Floyd moment. Why? Because just like we covered yesterday, Black Lives Matter has shown how corrupt the entire grift is. It's a grift, it's been exposed, and all they can do is have the likes of AOC, Bernie Sanders, and all the crazy politicians, Jamie Raskin, out there just screaming and ranting and pulling out their hair. That's all they've got, guys. That's all they've got. And so we have to counter with facts and common sense and evidence. And as much as possible, and as long as the YouTube algorithm will allow me to speak softly, because whenever I speak softly, the views drop. And then when I start screaming, the views go up. Like, guys, just follow this experiment, okay? Just follow me, because I notice it and it's like, I hope it's not just me. And then I begin to, I get passionate, I raise my voice, I'm screaming, and then the numbers start ticking up. I'm like, no, I'm not going to let this happen to me. I'm not going to become Cenk Uygur. I'm not going to do that. Okay. So I'm going to read the rest of the chat, but here's a very, very crazy story. Socialist Mayor Mamdani has put New York City landlords on notice. He says, we will take your properties and transfer ownership to someone else. Do you know what they call this in other countries? Land seizure. It's time to get out of New York. Anyone who lives, if you own property in New York, you better leave. I have family in New York, and I think they vote Democrat. I have my popcorn. Okay, so let's listen to Mamdani.
We will deliver the accountability you deserve from your landlord by doing a roof-to-basement inspection of your building. Finally, through our new citywide campaign, Fix the City, we will focus on the worst landlords in New York City. When necessary, we will take aggressive legal action to remove negligent owners and property managers.
To remove negligent owners, you mean to take their property from them?
And for buildings that have suffered chronic neglect, we will work to transfer ownership to responsible stewards.
Transfer ownership. And all the ne'er-do-nothings, the lazy bums who've never started a business in their lives, they're cheering.
Stewards that include community land trusts, nonprofits.
Like, look at this guy's smile. He's good. He's smiling. Everyone is like, oh, he's so kind. He sees us. Okay.
Nonprofits, or even the tenants themselves.
Let's read the chat. Okay. Let's read the chat. I am blown away at how excited some Americans are that the states that they live in are being turned into the Soviet Union. They're being turned into the CCP. Well, let's read the chat. Please jump into the chat, guys. That's why we do these live streams. It's not for me to perform. I could perform. I could ignore you guys and just rant and see the numbers climb, okay, because I'm screaming. But no, I want us to have a conversation. Let's see. Sorry, I scrolled down too far. Intergalactic Wrangler says the EU is screwed. Canada isn't far behind. Hey, don't touch my Canada. USA, Trump is putting up a fight, but is it enough? I don't think it's enough, guys. I'm going to be honest with you, and I will try to tell you the truth every single time. And I'm not a downer, a Debbie Downer. I'm not that. I am trying to say, look, if the conservative crowd do not realize that they need to be activated politically, they are going to lose the country. And I don't know if you guys have noticed, there isn't any uninhabited continent that you guys can jump on a plane or on a boat and sail to and say, hey, this is the new world. Let's base this country on Christian values. It doesn't exist anymore. It doesn't. So this is it, guys. If you guys don't get it right this time, I'm sorry. I don't know what to tell you. Those of us who jumped into the lifeboat are like, guys, this is it. We've been everywhere else, where we're all coming from everywhere else. It's a dumpster fire. It's not Wakanda. Africa is not Wakanda. Okay? It's a dumpster fire. This is it. And if conservatives and Republicans and people who have common sense values and Christian values are going to sleep on this, I don't know what to tell you. Okay. So I don't think it's enough for just Trump to do everything. Trump is here to activate the rest of us. If we don't get the memo, there's nothing more he can do. Nothing more he can do. For example, okay, I'm not going to say what I was about to say. It's going to be misunderstood by people who are just coming to the channel. So I'm just going to hold it till a different time. But I have thoughts on what conservatives, should be thinking of doing. And I'm not saying anything that's going to be abrasive or violent. It's just we need to make our voices heard. Okay. Intergalactic Wrangler says migration and radical Muslims. I have some videos that I see, and I'm like, I don't want to kind of overstate the dangers that I've been seeing in Europe of radical Islam or Islamists essentially assaulting their way through Europe. They are assaulting their way through Europe. There's a video that I saw, and I'm sure some of you have seen it, of an African Muslim immigrant in the UK openly saying that white girls deserve to be raped because they wear shorts. And I'll be honest with you, if I were in office or responsible for immigration in that country, I would find a way to get that guy out of the country. Pronto. because that's a cancer. It is a cancer. I'll tell you something, okay, and I hope you guys will hear me well. People from different races who are attracted to other races, okay, there's an undue attraction to other races. There are white people who are attracted to black people on, both sexes. There are black people who are attracted to Asians or to white people. There's an attraction there. And whenever you have this attraction, there's also a fascination. That fascination causes people to be overtly excited when they get close to the object of their fascination. For the Islamists, that fascination has become dangerous because they are permitted to do those things to white women. They are not allowed to do those things to Muslim women. It is against Islam. But according to Islam, it is allowed. In fact, it is encouraged. I have Muslim friends. So whenever I talk about these things, I struggle because I don't think every Muslim is that way. But the question is, does it say so in the book that they live by? And it's been proven that it says so. Intergalactic Wrangler says he's talking about the video we just played of the two guys. Gardening says, now that was so funny. At least I got a laugh. Yeah, I mean, you take your laughs where you can get them. Let's see. Gardening says, I have been following your experiment. It is true. If we could just keep them longer. I see the spikes and the drops, and I'll tell you guys, okay, guys, if there were only 2 of you or 3 of you who are like my audience, I will prepare the best I can to serve you. I made peace with this a long time ago. I asked myself the question, am I going to bring out the energy and the preparation that my audience deserves only when I have 100, 200, 500, 1,000 people watching the live streams? Or am I going to do it even if I have 1 faithful member of the audience showing up every single time? And I decided a long time ago, I'm going to bring my A game every single time. Intergalactic Wrangler, tell me in the chat, every time you've joined, has it seemed like there was ever a day that I kind of didn't bring my A game because the crowd had dropped? Just let me know, because you've been here when there's been a big crowd, you've been here when there's just the 2 of us. So let me know in the chat, because I try to do this and I don't want the algorithm to control how I feel, because it's toxic. Once you, as a content creator, these things can manipulate you into becoming someone you're not. So I try to avoid being controlled by those numbers. Yeah, but we hope to keep them longer. I hope they stay long enough to love it, love the content, love the channel, love the community, love the conversations, and help the channel grow. And talking about helping the channel grow, even if the only thing you do is just hit the like or the heart emoji, okay, that's good enough. Okay, you don't have to write a tome of an opinion. Just let us know that, hey, you're here and you're supporting what we're doing. Let's see. Gardening says, we will take your stuff. Cheers and excitement from the crowd. Yeah, until the stuff they take is yours. Because that's the way it starts. We will take the stuff from the rich guys and give it to you. Yay! And then when that's over, okay, now everyone's stuff is everyone's stuff. What? Yeah, everyone's stuff is everyone's stuff. I don't understand. Okay. To the gulag with you. That's how it starts. That's how it starts. Intergalactic Wrangler, Look, a freight train. I hope we can turn this around. I hope so. I hope so. I hope so. I'm watching this and I'm genuinely concerned that these people are cheering for the thing that made New York great being destroyed. Like they're cheering literally. Okay, let's see. The moon and Mars are the last real estate. I hope you're right. I hope you're right. Terraforming the moon and Mars is not as easy as science fiction makes it. If you've watched The Expanse, okay, I think there was a colony. Now, it's a fictitious, it's a book that was made into a series, a TV series. And the colony on Mars had been trying to terraform Mars for over 100 years. And they were nowhere close to succeeding. And that was with all of the technology from the future. It is a very difficult thing to do. It's very difficult to do. Okay, because in order to hold the atmosphere in, there has to be a gravitational pull that literally has the capacity to hold an atmosphere. And do we have the technology to create that kind of gravitational pull? If we did, we would have destroyed the planet a long time ago, because some crazy person would simply look and say, look, what does this button do? And that's it. We're all spaced. We'll basically be thrown into space because of the decisions of a nitwit. Okay, so let's see. Intergalactic Wrangler says, we appreciate you and taking the time to engage with us. Many streamers don't. Yeah, I know many streamers don't. So Mamdani wants to take real estate from landlords. Bernie Sanders wants to tax billionaires. Let's listen to stuff he said recently, because he's on the campaign trail with the candidate from Maine who has an SS Nazi tattoo on his chest, who has some horrible things to say about America and about veterans. But Bernie Sanders is okay with him because that's the guy the Democrats say, hey, you guys need to support this guy. So here's what he has to say about billionaires being taxed extra.
Let me conclude just by saying this. What the ruling class of this country does in so many ways is not just exploit workers, not only gets tax breaks that they shouldn't have, not only takes us into wars that we should not be fighting, they do something even more insidious. And that is, they try to tell the American people that we are powerless. Their message is, we have all the power. We own the media. We own the Congress.
Excuse me. The media is controlled disproportionately by the left. You see that this is the thing that upsets me. I think God is trying to teach me temperance and long-suffering and self-control with what I see in the news. I'm not kidding. How is it that these people can sit in front of thousands and millions of people and lie this much and not break a sweat?
We own the economy. You got nothing.
Oh, hang on. They called the Texas Senate results between Paxton and Corrin. Okay, I'm going to see if I can find that.
And I'll give you one example of that arrogance. Right now, in California and New York, there are unions and other people who are demanding that the wealthy and the billionaires start paying their fair share of taxes.
They already pay their fair share.
Now, what's interesting is what the billionaires are not saying. In California, what they're trying to do is impose a one-time tax on billionaires so that millions of people in that state don't lose their health care, don't lose nutrition benefits, and so forth and so on. And you know what the billionaires are saying? They're not debating their issue. They're not saying, well, it's more important that I not pay my fair share of taxes. I don't care if children go hungry or lack health care. That's not what they're talking about. You know what they're saying? If you dare to tax us, you know what we're going to do? We're going to leave the state. In other words, heads I win.
Look, okay, so it is painful to watch people cheer at the destruction of their states and cities. It's like those auto workers in Detroit who were cheering about Bill Clinton signing the agreements with Japan and China. You know, international trade is going to help everyone. And then suddenly the guy who had a job saw his factory downsizing and he didn't have a job anymore. That's what I'm seeing here. And they're all, and you know what? Most of the people who are screaming and shouting are boomers. Look at them. They're old or nearing retirement. They're cheering the destruction of the economy that their children or grandchildren are supposed to inherit. These people are wicked. Okay? I'm going to just say wicked. They don't understand economy, the economy or economics. They don't understand how money is made. They think that these billionaires simply steal money from the mouths of the poor or of the regular guy. They are just dumb. Now, I'm going to look. Gardening called an audible, and I am responding. Now, Ken Paxton, a Trump-endorsed candidate in Texas, takes the stage after absolutely whooping John Cornyn's ass in Texas.
I feel speechless in a way, but you know, they're not going to let me do that. Wow. To the people in this room, to the people watching at home, and to the people of the great state of Texas, tonight, we just made history. I want to thank my family, my kids, my grandchildren, the Paxton Patriots, and every single person here today. Without your love, your support, and your prayers, we would not be here tonight celebrating this incredible victory. I'd also like to thank all of the grassroots, local, state, and national leaders who supported this campaign, including Congressman Brandon Gilth, who just spoke, Lance Gooden, Congressman Nels, Congressman Wesley Hunt, and Congressman Ronnie Jackson. I'd also like to thank Scott Pressler and Turning Point Action.
Scott Pressler.
And Turning Point Action for their endorsements. And then there's one person who I think you might know. President
Donald J. Trump. Yeah.
When everyone in Washington told him to abandon me and abandon the people of Texas, he didn't listen. Instead, he gave his complete and total endorsement. President Trump is the leader of our party, and his endorsement in this is the most powerful force in politics.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm honored to have his support, and I look forward to working with him in the Senate to deliver for Texas. Tonight, we just sent a Texas-sized message to Washington. I said it in March, and I'll say it again now. Today, change was on the ballot, and change won. Let me be clear, this is not just my win, this is your win. We just proved that this Senate seat doesn't belong to Washington. It belongs to you, the hardworking men and women of this state. We went up against $150 million in all the attacks in the world. And you know what happened? The voters declared loud and clear a simple truth that we know in our hearts and in our souls. Texas is not for sale.
So they said MAGA was dead, okay, with all of the implosion of Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens, Megyn Kelly, Alex Jones, the great Alex Jones says that Trump should be, they should use the 25th Amendment and impeach him and get him out of office and replace it. They said MAGA is dead. And I said, look, those guys were not really MAGA. I said it, I called it on day one. And I guess we were right. You were right. I was right too. Okay. So congratulations, Ken Paxton. And yes, Gardening says, Scott did a great job once again. Yeah. Between Scott Pressler and Charlie Kirk, okay, both of them were they played a huge role in the 2024 presidential elections. The grassroots campaigning they did, the organizing they did was brilliant, which kind of circles me back to what I was trying to say earlier about conservatives' response to the insanity of the left on the streets. I think we have to begin to think about counter protests. Counter protests or preemptive protests. It's going to be difficult to do because conservatives have jobs. We have jobs. Like, I'll be honest with you, I'll be hard pressed to go to a protest, okay, because I have work to do. But it's something to think about, okay. Like I said, I didn't want to say it and be misunderstood, but it's something to think about because we need to make our voices heard loud and clear. Loud and clear. One way that we do it is at the ballot box. The other way we do it is school boards, local town hall meetings. Make our voices heard loud and clear. Another thing that I want to encourage is this. More conservatives have to open businesses. You have to open businesses, and conservatives have to support conservative businesses. If you see the American flag, walk into that business and do business there. If you see one business that serves a certain product or service and another business that wants to wave the Palestinian flag or the other flag, and then you have the American flag on a business offering the same services, walk into the business that is patriotic and that flies the American flag. Okay, like these are things that have to be done. Because what the left tends to do is when you speak up at town halls, you speak up at these public gatherings where you essentially go against the grain and you say, look, we don't support these insane policies. What they do is they begin to try to get you to lose your job. They begin to try to figure out a way to cancel your business. They try to take away your livelihood, to punish you for daring to walk out of step with what they want everyone else to do. So conservatives have to start having serious conversations about this. We have to respond in our own way, not with violence, but with strategy, understanding the tools that these people use and preempting them and dealing with them and neutering them before they even think of using them. Yeah, so Gardening, that was you. Okay, thanks for letting me know about this. They said that President Trump was losing his edge. He wasn't, his endorsement didn't mean anything. And right now, it's over 10 people he's endorsed who have won seats all over the United States. So clearly, he's not losing his edge. And this is terrifying to the Democrats. And that is why they aren't competing or campaigning against the person who's running against them. They are campaigning against Trump. That's what's going on. But it's good to see. So congratulations. Congratulations. So let's see. It's time for Bernie. Let me put this on the screen. It's time for Bernie Sanders to go rest and enjoy his life. He does look. Marxists and communists and socialists are very unhappy people. They're very unhappy people because they have to live in a constant state of contradiction. They want to persuade everyone else to believe that a common wealth. Everybody owns nothing, but everything belongs to everyone. That idea of a common wealth, they know viscerally that is a horrible idea. It doesn't work. It has never worked. It will never work. But they have to live their lives every day trying to convince themselves that it does work, even when they have overwhelming evidence that it doesn't. They live very miserable lives. So he's not going to enjoy his life. He's a millionaire with multiple homes, but yet his key spiel is attacking wealthy people, of which he is one. So it's a crazy thing to watch. So tired of his same speeches, same thing all the time, because that's his spiel. Look, politicians find people who have a pain point and they keep pressing on that pain point. That is the job of a politician. They want to capitalize on your pain, and they want to tell you that they are the only ones who can take away that pain. That's all they talk about. Intergalactic Wrangler says, "Oh, sorry, I did something I promised I wouldn't do. I put Gardening's chat on the screen thinking it was Intergalactic Wrangler. Sorry, Gardening. Made a mistake." Okay, Intergalactic Wrangler says, "Of course, the rich would leave the state. If all that fraud money was back, we wouldn't have a problem, but they took it." That's true. They took the money. And they tried to make it sound like it was racist to call out the corruption. Let's see. Intergalactic Wrangler. Let's see. Okay. I'm glad you're fine with it. Intergalactic Wrangler says they brought that Commonwealth crap from Britain when they came here. Pennsylvania is a Commonwealth state. It's more of a useless title anymore. Yeah, it is. It is. All right. I had several videos to play, but I'm going to leave them because I want to start by trying to end the live streams at the hour mark or before the hour mark. Maybe I'll reserve the rest of them for tomorrow. Guys, if you have stories that come up just like Gardening did today, even if it's while the live stream is on, if something breaks and you need me to know about it and we could talk about it live, look, guys, I'm open to it. I'm not married to my agenda. I'm not married to my agenda. Do you know what? I would even love to have a live stream where we just hang out and just talk about stuff as it, as the conversation evolves. I see tons, like I've seen over 100 different stories that we could have talked about today, but I'm glad we hit some of the high notes. I hope you enjoyed the story selections from today. Send your suggestions even during the live stream. I would respect it. I would look into it and possibly we cover it during the live stream. I do not mind. All right. Let's see. I went to check the results. No, fine. Like checking. I did let you break the results though. Look, I don't mind. Even if you broke the results, I don't mind. It's a conversation. Sometimes, okay, so this is where we just talk for a bit. Okay, so we're ad-libbing right now. I'm not presenting anything. I'm talking with you guys in the chat and you guys are talking back to me. So we always try to have these moments where we do this. So I struggle with the persona of being the internet influencer, content creator type. I don't feel comfortable with that because honestly, I don't think I know enough. I don't think I'm an expert at some of the things that's going on here. I'm simply reacting the same way you're reacting to these stories. And that's why all I do is I look through the storyline, and most of the time I don't even watch the content. I watch it while at the same time you're watching it along with me, because all I want to do is give you a genuine reaction or response to what we're seeing. I don't want to come across as being, the experts and trying to control everything to fit into a certain narrative. So I hope, I'm not giving off that air, but I really want you guys to relax, hang out with me, and let's just have fun during the live streams. I really want us to get to that point where we just are very comfortable and we can do that irrespective of who's watching along with us and so on. I really want us to be able to do that. So feel free to send in your stories even while the live stream is going on. If something breaks and it's not even part of the storyline, send it in. I will jump on it. I like when Intergalactic Wrangler is here chatting too. There's wisdom there. Yes. And that's why I want most of us to open up and talk. There are a bunch of us who watch, but either because they're watching from their screens or they just don't want to talk. And guys, I get it. I get it. The internet is weird. You can simply post in the chat, the sky is blue, and insane people begin to attack you. So I understand. But what we're trying to do here is to create that community that allows you to just be you. And as long as we're having a good faith engagement and conversation, you can talk. Okay, you can say what you need to say and we have a conversation. As long as it's a good faith conversation, we're good. So guys, I'm encouraging everyone who's watching. Look, we're going to be back here again tomorrow, same time tomorrow. We've moved the live stream an hour earlier, and I hope it's to your liking, guys. We want to be able to do this again and again. And you know what? I'm going to find more of those unhinged videos of leftists trying to tell us that the laws of biology stopped existing because they said so. Intergalactic Wrangler, yes. Look, I value your opinions. I value your insight. There's stuff like gardening. I know Texas has a special place in your heart, and you were plugged into it and you were able to send that message right on time. And thank you so much for that. Look, let's all be free and, do that. I'm looking out for you guys to be able to send me content like that, even while we're on the live stream. I'm good with that. All right, guys. We'll be back again tomorrow, same time. Love hanging out with you guys. But I don't want to overstay my welcome, okay? Like that guest that doesn't ever leave until he's told to leave. So I want to just stay just long enough to have fun and not as long as to make it possible for you to miss me when I'm gone. So we're going to call it a night. We're going to be back tomorrow, same time tomorrow. And Intergalactic Wrangler is wishing everyone to stay safe and keep your eyes up and your ears open. Guys, thank you for hanging out. I love you guys. I'm praying for you guys. Thank you guys for praying for me and being here every single time we go live. I appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. God bless you, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye-bye.